For ages, the world has talked about dwarfs, mysterious creatures said to have lived among humans thousands of years ago. Not just myths or legends, but stories and descriptions that match across different civilizations. They were unusually small in size and so mysterious that anyone would ask, were dwarfs really real? And where did they disappear to?
The story begins with a strange legend told by ancient civilizations, a legend about a type of humans with unique traits, small in size, fierce, and extremely cunning. These dwarfs lived on Earth, and contrary to what their name might suggest, they were incredibly strong. All legends about dwarfs were actually warnings, strongly advising humans to be cautious of them. For example, Scandinavian myths described them as very small creatures, but with deceitful and tricky natures, who loved to trap and trick humans. But that's not all. Despite their small size, their bodies were covered in hair, their arms were relatively long, and their features were strikingly masculine. They were also exceptionally skilled craftsmen, blacksmithing, carpentry, and other trades, making them some of the most talented artisans in the world.
As for the dwarfs' whereabouts, legends say they lived underground in specific places, and some even claimed they exist in Antarctica. Up to this point, we might consider this just a myth, with no solid evidence and not take it too seriously. But surprisingly, in Algeria, there were stories about the same creatures with almost identical traits, but under a different name, Sarls. The Algerians described them just like the Scandinavians did, extremely small, with long arms nearly reaching the ground, coarse hair that stood stiff beside their heads, and at night, their eyes would turn red. Their clothes appeared torn and patchy. The legend continued, saying that long ago, dwarfs lived among humans freely, but as humans started using dogs and weapons, many of them were killed. The dwarfs, fearing for their lives, gathered together and retreated to the mountains for safety. From Algeria, the tales take us to Sumatra in Indonesia, where the same traits described by both the Scandinavians and Algerians can be found.
Strangely, all the stories agreed on the same description, appearance, and traits. Some even mentioned an entire tribe living together in the forest. They were no taller than 50 centimeters, living far from the technology and advancements humans have today. This tribe was called the Mant tribe, and according to the tales, they were extremely aggressive, fierce, and evil. But the shocking part, they suddenly disappeared, leaving no trace behind. And that's not all. Shortly after, a strange video went viral on social media and news channels. The video showed a group of young people riding motorcycles through the forest, filming the wildlife around them. Suddenly, a very short man appeared, holding a spear, wearing primitive clothing, and pointing the spear at them as if he was about to attack. The young people were shocked because the man was extremely small. Not small due to dwarfism or normal short stature, but truly tiny, like the dwarfs we are talking about today. They were so startled that one of them even fell off his motorcycle, and chaos broke out. When they tried to chase him on their motorcycles, the little man managed to escape effortlessly, jumping into the forest grass and disappearing instantly due to his small size and agility. After this video, people started talking again about the Mant tribe, saying they hadn't disappeared as previously believed. They were still around, extremely clever, and had managed to stay hidden in the forest for 4 entire centuries without anyone noticing. Imagine 4 centuries witnessing so much death and danger. And that was just in the forest. So if they live in the mountains, it would be extremely rare for any human to encounter them. Does this mean all the legends are true, and that these creatures really exist in the mountains? After this viral video, everyone went crazy, asking themselves, are dwarves really still around? And if so, how do they live? And where exactly can they be found? Let me first tell you about the Dwarfs village recently discovered in Iran. An entire village. In case you didn't know, This village was found by accident while exploring southern Iran, specifically the Lut Desert near the Afghan border. During their exploration, they stumbled upon a village containing around 200 extremely small houses. The houses were tiny. The largest one was about 130 to 140 centimeters in height, while others were even smaller, around 120 to 170 centimeters. Imagine how small you'd have to be just to enter one of these houses. After discovering the village, scientists estimated its age to be around 1,500 years. Does this mean dwarfs were living in these houses 1,500 years ago? The evidence lies in the village's complete isolation from humans. The design of the houses suggests that its inhabitants, likely dwarfs, did not interact with ordinary humans. Each house consisted of 3 rooms, a storage room, a bedroom, and a kitchen. What's even stranger is that despite all these centuries, the house's designs haven't changed at all. Yet the scientists' explanations for this discovery were odd and didn't make much sense.
Initially, scientists didn't claim that dwarfs lived here, but they tried to explain the small size of the houses, suggesting that the original inhabitants of the area might have been humans who were short due to certain diseases, harsh living conditions, scarce water and food, and extreme heat. People there didn't eat much meat. Their diet was limited, so they were weak, frail, and short. Additionally, the water was contaminated with mercury, which affected their health and that of their children. However, this explanation seems strange, because even the tools found in these houses were extremely small. If these people were just weak, why would they make such tiny tools? After 2005, the story changed completely. Scientists discovered a mummified child measuring only 25 centimeters in the same area. To put it in perspective, 25 centimeters is about the length of an old-school ruler. The child was far smaller than a normal child. Scientists estimated the child's age to be around 400 to 500 years, which strongly indicates that the people living in the village were not of normal height, but truly small. The village they discovered is called Makunik, and later scientists found 13 additional dwarf villages, most of which had houses even smaller than those in Makunik. Some houses were only 60 to 70 centimeters tall, with the tallest barely reaching 1 meter, much shorter than Makunik's houses, which reached 140 centimeters. All these discoveries strongly confirm that dwarfs truly lived in the region, and most of the evidence is relatively recent.
So, around 1846, scientists began uncovering real evidence, even though legends and stories had been warning about dwarfs for a very long time. If you've followed so far and are starting to doubt or even believe that dwarfs really exist, here's something strange. When scientists discovered Mahunik and the 13 other villages and examined them, they found that all these villages were completely empty. There was no trace of animals, no signs of daily life, and not even skeletal remains or bodies to prove inhabitants once lived there. Does this mean the dwarfs suddenly left these areas? But if we assume they left and migrated somewhere else, why would they abandon all their tools and homes? The reason behind their departure remains a mystery. Even stranger, scientists confirmed that these cities truly belonged to dwarfs, to the point that they named the area the Land of Dwarfs. This covers the case in Iran, which is already fascinating and raises questions about other parts of the world. The question is yours. Do you believe that these dwarves truly lived on Earth at some point? And looking at the present, scientists say they exist in Antarctica, completely hidden from humans, because it's currently impossible for anyone to reach or live there. That's everything about dwarves. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more about the mysteries and wonders of the world, don't forget to subscribe to Black Room and hit the bell so you don't miss any new videos. See you in a new video soon. Goodbye.